What's going on, guys? CTG Matt back. You read the title. It's just me, you, and a Blue Yeti microphone. We're talking about some MLB free agency moves, specifically the ones that are newer. Like overnight, Jeff Passan broke like two before I even woke up. I didn't know what the hell was happening. All I knew was Walker Buehler was a Red Sox, and Jock, and Sean Manaea. All three of these happened within today. Kutch, I thought that was a given, but we'll get into it. Like, comment, share, sub. You know what to do. But yeah, it's been a long time since I've just had to sit down. Let me make myself smaller. But Kutch returning to the Pirates, I felt that kind of was a given. This guy can still hit. He's a good DH for the Pirates. For the Pirates, can I be frank? They've kind of disappointed me. Underwhelmed me is more accurate. I thought they'd be a little bit more aggressive. NL Central isn't special. Let's be frank. The Brewers won it last year, but the Brewers weren't the best team in my opinion. Like, They were good enough to win games, but this wasn't some stout, stacked roster top to bottom, especially with Yelich hurt. It felt like anybody could have maybe come out of there last year, and instead nobody did except for the Brewers. They kind of washed the rest of you guys. And the Pirates are in a weird position where I'm like, you got some young guys. Termarr Johnson, Oneil Cruz, Ke'Bryan Hayes is a young guy, kinda. And then, of course, the young rotation. Paul Skeens, Jared Jones, Mitch Keller, who they're potentially looking to move. Why? I don't get that. But, you know, this is a team that just needed a couple more pieces. And instead of adding the couple more pieces this offseason, their front office has just done nothing. I mean, like I said, they brought back Kutch, which is great. Kutch, all-time legend in Pirates history, one of their best of all time. But he's like, what, 40? And, you know, he could still hit the ball. He's a good over average bench bat, you know, a good one. If I had to guesstimate, I'd say he finished last year like a 108 OPS plus. Solid, fine for a DH. It's like, okay, but where's the move? Where's the move from the Pirates that makes me go, you know what? This team can make a little run for the Central. It hasn't happened. I don't think it's coming. It kind of makes me sad because, like I said, you have some pillars of the franchise there. Oneil Cruz showed flashes and some bright spots in center field. And plus, on top of that, he had a really good hitting season, despite, like, the strikeout numbers. Who the hell cares? 118 OPS plus or something like that. I'll take that any day of the week out of my center fielder. And then, like I said, Termarr Johnson down in the minor leagues. He's good. But is this going to wash away the fact that your first baseman still not really existent? Joey Bart, maybe? But, of course, they're one of those teams that's like, we're small market. We don't have money. Pittsburgh isn't a small market. Pittsburgh is not a small city, and they deserve a good baseball team. They haven't had one in over a decade, it feels like. Let me know down in the comments if I'm wrong there, but it feels like it's been a decade since the Pirates have been relevant. And I just hoped this free agency would be the one where they would commit and be like, we need to bring in a guy and maybe a corner outfielder. Sawinski regressed last season. At first base, it was like Rowdy Tellez for a lot of the season. That's ugly. Pitching wise, you lost Chapman. Who the hell cares? But you need more pitching, of course, and everyone can use more pitching, but the Pirates, especially in the back end of that bullpen, it's just frustrating. Where is the movement for the Pirates? I should probably talk about another team because the Pirates aren't like the most popular, but the Pittsburgh Pirates have done nothing but just kind of underwhelm me this offseason, and it's making me kind of irritated. You know, we could talk about Buehler to the Sox. This was a good signing in my opinion. 1 year, I think it's a 1+1. ESPN does not list it as a 1+1. I thought it would be a 1+1. It is not. This is a straight up, which, hey man, I kind of like it. I still like it. Walker Buehler showed some signs in the postseason, specifically last year. Please ignore the cut on my neck. It's a shaving mishap. I average about one per game. But I kind of want to go on Savant real quick, and we'll look at Walker Buehler. Oh dear. Well, he pitched. Not great. The velo is almost there. You know, it's not the ugliest I've ever seen. The xWOBA's the bottom 3 in the league. That's great. You know, I'm not sure what to make of this though, because like I said, second half World Series specifically, NLCS, he looked really good. I believe. I think that was a CS. And then obviously the World Series, he looked pretty good. So you don't know what you're gonna get. He is 30, sneaky 30. Walker Buehler's been in the league a while, huh? Yeah, 2017, man. That is a long time ago. I mean, you see the chase and the whiff rate and the K rate all down. That was like a big calling card of his. I don't know. It feels good for the Red Sox, though, because they still needed to figure out that rotation. But now that you have Walker Buehler, the rotation looks pretty good. So with Walker Buehler, you're looking at a decent little rotation. Crochet, Houck, Buehler, Bayo, and then Crawford or Giolito. You know what? That's not bad. The one worry is that it's at Fenway, which is pretty hitter-friendly, in my opinion. I think that's kind of a fact. Hold on. But it's pretty hitter-friendly for a park. I don't mind the move, though. I still do like the move a lot. I think the Red Sox can get some good stuff out of Walker Buehler. And if not, like I said, you're still fighting for that last rotation spot between Giolito and Cutter Crawford. One of those guys can definitely move in there. And then, is Nick Pivetta a free agent? I have no idea. Haven't seen anything on Nick Pivetta in a long while. But the Rangers adding Jock, another big one. Jock was a guy who I was surprised didn't get scooped up earlier, or at least was in play to get moved on earlier. Jock had an incredible season with the Diamondbacks, platoon bat, DH. You know, of course he is strictly a DH. He mashes. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. Jock mashes, and I see him doing extra, doing just as good, honestly, in Texas, because I see they move low. Nathaniel Lowe, I believe, right? But I still see them having a great comeback season, the Rangers, that is. And Jock is just a guy who mashes. You know, he's another guy. We could go talk on Savant about Jock Peterson. I think what was his barrel rate last year? He was killing balls. Yeah, he was killing baseballs last season. A lot of pull. I don't care. It's Jock. He's just so fun. I love Jock Peterson. He's like one of those niche players that, like, I just enjoy. And I think he's so good at what he does, which is just hitting tanks, hitting the ball in general. You know, you see the walk rate, 94th percentile for walk rate. Like, what? Batting average isn't super high, but who cares? It's Jock Peterson. He's looking to hit tanks. Look at the sprint speed. One of the worst in baseball. But, again, all the hitting percentiles, he's been mashing baseballs for, like, a long time. You know, you look at, like, his early years with the Dodgers. Boy, he's skinny back in the day, huh? But he's always killed baseballs. Man, I love me some Jock Peterson. I think he's such an underrated, well, not underrated necessarily, as much as he is undervalued now, because of the fact that, like I said, it took him this long to sign, and he got a 1+1. 2-year deal, $37 million. I mean, that's pretty good. Yeah, it's an opt-out after the first season. So, yeah, it is a 1+1. But with Arizona, man, he was crushing the ball, and he was just such a valuable platoon bat. 923 OPS, 22 homers, and 335 bats against righties. Like, that's mashing. He's a guy where I'm kind of jealous the Rangers landed him, because if the Yankees got him, oh my God. The Yankees struggled to hit right-handed pitching last year, and I figured Jock Peterson would be like the perfect guy to bring in, because he could just platoon with Stanton. Him or Stanton faces righties versus lefties. And it would work out kind of good. But, you know, him with the Rangers is just as good. He gets to team up with Seager again. You know, him and Seager, the last time they played together, Jock was 50 cheeseburgers lighter. But he also hit less tanks. Take what you can get. Yeah, I think Jock was a guy that a lot more teams should have called about. And at least inquired about him or tried to make a move. He's just so good at what he does. Of course, he's a DH. People whine and stuff like that. And again, I get it. He doesn't play the field like at all, and he doesn't run particularly well. But when he gets on a ball, it is going a long ways. And he's a platoon bat. He just mashes me. I don't know how you can't love Jock. The Pearls and Jocktober, it sold me. All right, that Braves run sold me. I've been a Jock Peterson fan really ever since. Right, that was just an incredible playoff run from him, and overall, man, like I said, he's just a really quality hitter. So what's the Rangers order going to look like? Let me know down in the comments, Rangers fans. What's your batting order going to look like? Where's he going to hit? Like cleanup? Somewhere around there maybe? Siegs is going to hit like top 3. Simeon hits top 2 always. He's just a mister every day. What else their team got nowadays? I don't know. They made some other moves too, I believe. Yeah, when they lost, when they traded Lowe to the Nationals. This was one that in my rankings, Sean Manaea deal, when I did the ranking free agency video, go check that one out. Just randomly popped off of my channel. I love everybody who watched that video. Feel free to like and sub and stay around, please do. But man, you know, this when I was making that video, I said the Mets did the big thing by signing Juan Soto, but there was still more to be done. Their roster's incomplete. Let's be honest. Their bullpen is still kind of shallow. Their starting rotation still, even after bringing back Sean Manaea, is still not done yet. You know, But Dumpster Dive David, he does the job. You know, he moves around and he finds ways to bring guys in. Cohen with the deep pockets, the unlimited range of pockets is insane. And Sean Manaea had a comeback season last year. We'll go look at his Savant page too. Extension, my goodness. I remember, wasn't he a drive line guy? He went to drive line and reworked his rotation and stuff like that. Yeah, going to more a sinker usage type. Yeah, that makes sense. What was it like in 2023? Four seam. More four seam, no sinker at all, really. Then he switches to heavy sinker usage. Yeah, it's the same thing they did with Sevy, I believe, too. So it worked out for him. You know, you see the pitching run value, 89th percentile. This stuff isn't flashy. None of this is really flashy. I think it also has to do with his arm slot. Yeah, 22-degree arm angle. He's just tough to see, and it makes him a little bit harder to hit. That sweeper has run, dude. That thing is it runs 13 inches break. I mean, that thing is just nasty to see when he throws it. And then you look at like his past years. I was a big fan of him in Oakland. People for a while said I looked like him back when I had a beard because long hair. You know, you have long curly hair and a beard. You kind of get lumped into categories, and that's where I was. That's why I had to shave. No, it's not why I shaved at all. But look at the freaking fastball run value, 21? For everything that's kind of underwhelming in here, you don't see anything above, like, you don't see a ton of red, you know, and people love the red. I love seeing the red. It's beautiful. I love Clifford pages, I call them. Clifford pages are the ones where it's all red. You know, when you look at Aaron Judge's Savant or whatever. But if you're producing, I don't really care what your Savant page looks like. I did not know he was a Kansas City Royals draft pick. Didn't know that. He just gets outs. I mean, you look at the K rate, 25%. I mean, that's fine. It's pretty good. It's just not like, whoa, you know, and then obviously the ground ball rate's not particularly high. I kind of want to go look at his batted ball data, but I do that later. Stuff like fly ball percentage and stuff like that. You look at his similar seasons. This is some weird similar pitchers. Really weird combination. David Peterson is another guy who should be a fixture in the Mets rotation come next season, who impressed me last year. It's just David Peterson's production, in my opinion, may not be replicable. David Peterson got a little lucky last season. We'll see how it goes, but Dumpster Dive Dave always fixes pitchers somehow. So, I mean, look at the expecteds, even on his pitch type. Like, you're looking at a 416 expected slug on the sinker. I'd live with that. You know, nothing over like 450 area, nothing over 440 even. So that's pretty good. You know, and then you look at the actual slugging. Man, they damn near killed his changeup. But, you know, Sean Manaea is such a good pitcher still, though. Such a quality arm. I mean, you see between 2023 and 2024, that is a full 1 point ERA difference. A full point. Like, that is impressive. And, you know, the whip goes down, strikeouts up by a good amount. The extension, though, was he extending like that in 2023? So he always has been good extension-wise. That's a bottom-out season right there if I ever seen one. But it's so interesting looking at this. Can I see the pitch sample? Yeah, I'm not learning a ton from that. All right, next signing, because Sean Manaea is really good. I just think the Mets offseason is still not done. They need another starter, in my opinion. Let's go back to the Rangers. I think the Rangers need to keep Kirby Yates. I don't know what the plan is there. And I know relievers are volatile. You know, relievers will bounce from the most dominant season ever to the worst season ever. I mean, hell, Emmanuel Clase, most dominant reliever season in a long while, and then in the playoffs he gets rocked. So relievers are the types that you can't bank on, and there's not many in baseball that you can look at and guarantee production from. Not many. There's a couple. Josh Hader's going to produce well. I look at Tanner Scott and think he's very good and his production's replicable, you know, but they're just so volatile where you can have the best closer in baseball for 2 years and then he will, like that, turn into one of the worst. Brad Lidge for a while was the best closer in baseball. It was gone the next day. 1 home run from Albert Pujols. And when I think of like there's like Rob Nen, but that's different story, you know. Or we could pull up Eric Gagne, but we all know why he was striving one here, maybe down in the Mike Tyson area. It don't matter either way, but you get what I'm saying. Relievers are so up and down where it's like I don't know how much money you want to commit to one, especially like Kirby Yates, who's always been a decent reliever, but 2024 Kirby Yates was unreal, man. Number of saves he had, the strikeouts he was putting up. It was a great season from Kirby Yates. I just don't know if they're going to re-sign him. I think they got rid of Lowe because They didn't really want to pay him. Jesus Luzardo, the Jesus Lizard, as Pitching Ninja calls him. Jesus Lizard can throw. And the Phillies, you don't see many in-division trades. Robert Garcia, though, interests me. I'm going to go look up Jesus Luzardo's 2024. But after that, I want to talk about Robert Garcia for a little bit. Because although Luzardo is pretty good, I look at Robert Garcia and think he's the type of reliever with some replicable value. Fourth? You're stepping 5.7 what, inches? Mostly a four-seam guy, as you can tell. Not bad, though. 80th percentile for whiff rate. It's not bad. What are we looking at down here? He gets hit hard. Fair enough. But the Phillies were a team where I wasn't sure what they were looking to add. I thought Dombrowski was punting another offseason. Last season, their biggest get was Whit Merrifield, I believe. That won't win you a World Series. But you know what will? Trading for a good pitcher like Jesus Luzardo so that way Taijuan Walker doesn't have to see the freaking ball ever. Every time Taijuan Walker takes the ball for the Phillies, Philly fans, you might as well just change the channel. You've lost the game. As soon as first pitch is out, you've probably lost the game. So bring in Jesus Luzardo so that way Taijuan Walker can just be like a long reliever. He could pitch blowouts or punt games, or you don't have to actually have him as a member of the real rotation, you know. And Jesus Luzardo has had some really good flashes. Where's 2023? This is good production. Like, this is great. You know, how many innings did he pitch in 2024? Not a lot. He actually threw a career low in pitches since 2020. So I think he was hurt. Yeah, the Marlins are another weird team where it's like, can they have anything fun? No, they can't. They can't have anything fun. But the Phillies are in good position to put themselves right back into contention. That East is stacked. I don't know. I'm going to do predictions, division predictions. And that's the hardest one that I'm looking at, is predicting the NL East. Because obviously the Braves, you look at the Braves and they haven't done anything. Like, I'm getting irritated because Alex Anthopoulos is sitting there, drool rolling down his chin. He's like, yeah. He doesn't know what to do, right? And they need Spencer Strider healthy. That's one. Two, they need to somehow replicate the Max Fried production that they were getting. Lost him. I don't know where it's going to come from. And then obviously, guys like Acuna tore his ACL last year. That's the second time. And I don't know if he's going to come back full speed again. You know what I mean? It took him a year to get back to normal from the last ACL. So what's going to happen this time? And then I look at like Matt Olson. Matt Olson's going to play 162. Is it going to be a productive 162? It beats me. Ozzie Albies, injured last year, I think a little bit. Same with Mike Harris. He was definitely injured. Good amount. And their only consistent hitter was Marcell Ozuna. Probably the dirtiest player in the game is their best hitter for a full season. Their best player was probably Marcell Ozuna last year. Let that sink in. I don't feel great about it. So you need some bounce backs or somebody to freaking develop with the Braves. But we're talking about the Phillies. We'll get back to that. The Phillies still have a really dominant rotation. Wheeler, Nola, Sanchez. What the hell's the Sanchez and Suarez, Jesus, and then Luzardo and Taijuan Walker. So it's still a really good rotation, and you don't have to throw Taijuan Walker anymore. You don't have to punt games essentially, and your lineup just needs to get a little better because there's no way you can trot out Johan Rojas, Brandon Marsh. You know, you can't have net negative hitters out there. I don't care how many good bats you have. Nick Castellanos isn't even that good of a bat in my opinion anymore. He is aging. And it's showing. But until you can supplement some of that hitting, you got some pitching in Jesus Luzardo. That's quality innings he can give you. I'm surprised. I don't know what's going to happen in Miami, but I wouldn't be surprised if, like, Sandy pitches half a season there and gets moved, because I don't think they'd move on Contra now because Sandy's value is at its lowest it's been in a while. But I genuinely wouldn't be surprised if, 2 months into the season, he gets moved. And it sucks. I see Marlins fans all the time talk about their team, and they're never happy about it. And how the hell can you be? Let's be honest. They get given maybe one of the best players on earth, and they trade him within 3 years. They get a new toy, and then it gets ripped away a month later. You know, I like Xavier Edwards. I like Connor Norby. I like some of the guys on their team. What the hell's that big guy's name? Jesus Sanchez, he hits bombs, and they have the other one. Is it Davison? No. But either way, they just have a bunch of guys there that don't really, they haven't developed well. Like Brian De La Cruz was a guy who I was really high on. He never developed. Now he's obviously not even there anymore. He's with the Braves, I believe. And they just don't have anything. They had a really good rotation a couple of years back when they made the playoffs. Was that 2023? Or was that 22? Either way, the last time they made the playoffs, they had a really good rotation. They just couldn't hit. They were a team that won one-run games because their pitching was so good. They kept their bad hitting in it consistently. I mean, it just says 2 prospects here. If I go to the story, who are the prospects? Starlin Caba and Emarion Boyd. Well, Caba's 19. This guy had 239 with 3 home runs. Oh, God. I don't know. Luzardo was bad. Yeah, we talked about that. Missing games with an elbow and a back issue. Yeah, it was a bad year. The Phillies weren't done, I don't believe, but either way, we're going to keep talking about it. Nationals landing Nathaniel Lowe. Brandon Lau, Nathaniel Lowe, Josh Lowe. I know that. But the Nathaniel Lowe is a really productive hitter, and he's consistent, steady. You know what you're going to get out of him. It's just the Nationals were another team where people thought that they were going to do a lot this offseason. And Nathaniel Lowe is not nothing. You know what I mean? This is good production, a consistent hitter. I want to talk about Robert Garcia for a little bit. We can do that for a second. He had some interesting stuff the last few years. Let me now paraphrase this by saying he's 28 years old. He only threw 950 pitches the last season in general. But look at that. I mean, look at this. This is disgusting. This is really good shit. You see the four-seamer. He has plus velo, 87 usually, average exit velos. His fastball velo is 95. So he sits fine. But his off-speed obviously has a good amount of movement to it. His changeup is 15 inches of tail, 2 inches of rise. That's unique. Expected slugging in the top 4%, xWOB in the top 3. I mean, you're looking at a guy who just shows potential out the A. You know what I mean? Extension is a plus. He actually lowered his extension in 2024. That's interesting. But his barrel rate, he dodged barrels like freaking Mario running up to go save Peach. Hard hit percentage, doesn't get hit hard. Robert Garcia is an impressive relief pitcher that I think they landed for a first baseman who's very respectable. But again, this is a decent little deal for the Rangers. If you don't want Kirby Yates, I mean, you could just roll out. I think you could just roll out Robert Garcia and get decent production out of him. I think you'd just rather have both, in my opinion. But, one or the other. If you had to pick one or the other, Robert Garcia is no slouch. I like this move for both sides. To be frank, to be real honest with you, I really do like this move from both sides. Never talked about these moves, these crazy moves that have been happening down here. Patrick Sandoval, he's coming off a big injury. I don't even know what to say about that one. I did not know Gio Urshela landed with the A's. That's interesting. We talked about them needing outfield help, and they got Max Kepler coming off a down season. They're getting some buy low candidates. Kepler struggled last season, the German-born Max Kepler, and it's kind of a buy low. Not a bad move. Patrick Sandoval, fine move. Jose Trevino getting traded. Good. You know what? I want to put this out there real quick. Let me know if your math is checking out here. The Yankees lose Juan Soto, Nestor Cortez, Gleyber Torres, Jose Trevino. They bring in Cody Bellinger, Paul Goldschmidt. I don't know if you're really piecing together what I'm piecing together. I don't know what to tell you. But yeah, they're bringing in a lot of white guys, in my opinion. It doesn't matter. He's just really good. I'm just laughing that the Yankees lost basically all of their Hispanic players, except for a couple. Guardians trading Josh Naylor and then bringing in Carlos Santana. I really don't mind this deal for either side. I think the Diamondbacks got a good replacement first baseman for Christian Walker, who left for Houston. And then on top of that, the Guardians bring back again Carlos Santana. I think this is the third time. So he's been dancing back and forth, going from Cleveland to other places. Josh Naylor is a weird player who doesn't put up WAR. He had 1.3 Baseball Reference WAR last season. That's not great, but he hits the ball. We know Josh Naylor can mash. He stunk it up in the playoffs last season. That's for damn sure. But we all know that he can produce, and I think if anyone's going to get the best out of him, I think the D-backs can, because the D-backs have done a really good job at player development recently. And on top of that, you see Carlos Santana going to Cleveland, and Carlos Santana is just another guy who I kind of think of like Nathaniel Lowe. You know what you're going to get. Draws a lot of walks, gets on base, hits some bombs here and there, plays good defense. He won a Gold Glove last year. I think that was his only Gold Glove, fun fact. But I think Carlos Santana is just a really good player as well. I like this move for both sides. It's really assuming Carlos Santana can still produce. I think he can. Of course, you always have your skepticism because he's like 40. But, of course, he's an ageless wonder, and it's not like what he does relies on athleticism. He hits bombs, draws walks, plays good defense. Goldie to the Yankees. I'm not excited for it. I'm not. Somebody said we might try and get Nolan Arenado now because Paul Goldschmidt signed and they're cool with each other. Dude, if we bring in Nolan Arenado and Paul Goldschmidt and Cody Bellinger in one offseason, we are going to win the 2019 World Series. His second half splits, talking about Goldschmidt, his second half splits look better than first half, and you're going to platoon him with Ben Rice, which is a choice that I'm okay with, kinda. I don't know, he's so unproven. There needs to be more done with the Yankees offseason. There needs to be more. Like, there needs to be one more signing. You can't go in with this field. I mean, you're going to have Oswaldo Cabrera starting. Be serious. And then Cody Belly, where's he going to play? I don't know, outfield somewhere. Astros bring Walker to Houston. You know, the Astros aren't the only thing in Houston that needs a Walker now. Shout out Tank Dell's kneecap. That shit was disgusting. I hate to see that. I probably shouldn't have made a joke about it, but I already did. What am I going to do? Edit it out? No, screw that. I'm too lazy. But Christian Walker, 3 years, $60 million. I mean, Christian Walker, I've sung his praises, I think, all offseason, telling people that this is a steal. You're going to get a good first baseman. He's old, people say. But you got to remember, this is a guy who backed up the majority of his career. He backed up Chris Davis. He backed up Paul Goldschmidt. Just like the last 2 years, he's finally, 3 years, he's gotten his chance to really be a starter, and he's become really good. So, you know, for all the people that are like, oh, he's old, it's not like there's much wear and tear on his body. He's been a backup for a consistent part of his career. And then plus, like, again, he's another guy who just plays really elite first base defense, and he hits bombs, you know. He actually has a high average, too. He's an average guy, if you believe in that. And then I think with the Crawford boxes, it should help him. And same with Isaac Paredes. The Astros are going to be a tough out again because no one else in the AL West decided to buy. That's another different rant. The Rangers pseudo bought. Congratulations on Robert Garcia and Jock, but does that really compete with the Astros bringing in Christian Walker? And then they lose Kyle Tucker, so I don't know. That West race is going to be interesting, and I hate the Mariners for not doing anything for it. They might bring back Justin Turner. Woo! He's 41. Come on now, dude. I don't know. That irritates the hell out of me. The Mariners I've been hyping up for so long, and I predicted them to win the West last year, and they weren't even, well, they were kind of close, but they weren't that close. I was going to turn on the camera and make a video about the Tamayuki Sagano signing, but he's like 40, and I think he can be a backline starter for the Orioles. They need starter help. Lord knows. The thing is that with all these signings today, you see free agency might have loosened up a little bit. You know, I would thought the Juan Soto deal was going to work, but people were estimating around mid-January you'd start getting the rest of the signings. But this offseason has been so good, though, to the point where, like, I'm happy with what we've gotten. Let me know down in the comments how you'd rank this offseason, but I feel like we kind of got what we wanted. Last offseason, it was drawn out. It was boring. It was sloppy, that's for damn sure. Scott Boras was making it murky water all over the place last offseason. This offseason, things are a little bit more clear, and there's more teams buying, it seems. A lot of parity going on in this league, and I'm okay with it. Like I said, rank this offseason 1 to 10, 10 being, you know, this is the best offseason we've had in a long time, and 1 being my team signed nobody. Down in the comments. Don't forget to like, comment, share, sub. Thank you for joining me. I'm going to go catch the game. See you guys in the next one.